Okay, in this tutorial we're going to introduce algebra tiles, and the algebra tiles are just a tool to help represent an algebraic equation, expression, and can possibly even use to help solve for a missing variable. So there are going to be a couple different types of algebra tiles that you're going to see. The first one is just a singular square. Okay, and this is just going to represent a constant of 1. This is the number 1. There's no variable with it. It's going to be a constant. When you see it flipped, on the other side it's going to be the color red. This is going to represent a negative 1. So anytime you see a color other than red, it's positive. If you see red, it's going to be negative. The next one is the long bars, and in this color we're going to use green. This is going to represent a positive 1x. And just like we had with the squares right here, if you see the red long singular bar, that's going to represent a negative x. And in the actual physical algebra tiles, they're going to be on one side or the other. So the green will be on one side, and if you flip it, red's going to be on the other. Or the yellow square is going to be the positive one, and when you flip it on the other side, it's going to be negative. So you can use the algebra tiles to represent different things, whether you're wanting the positive or the negative. So let's look at this first arrangement and how we can represent this as an equation. So we have 3 long singular bars. Then we have 9 yellow squares. And then we have the equals, and then 15 squares right here. So anytime you're combining things together, it's going to be added. So since these are 3 x's, this is just x plus x plus x. And then we have 9 singular squares, and instead of writing plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 9 times, I'm just going to write plus 9 equals. And then same thing over here with the 15 over on the other side. But we need to make sure that we're combining like terms. So instead of writing an x plus an x plus an x, there are 3 of them. So you're going to use 3x plus 9 equals 15. And the directions are just to write the equation that represents this algebra tile arrangement. And that's what that equation is. 3x plus 9 equals 15. Now it can also be used to solve for a missing variable. And we have our variable in this first one, that's the x. You have to arrange it in such a way that you're given the equation first, then solve for the missing variable afterwards. So right now we have one single x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes equals 9. So this, when added together, again, these are positive. X plus 8 equals 9 is the equation. Now we just have to use algebra to solve them. The way you balance this and move the positive 8 over to the other side and undo this operation is like using the negative algebra tiles by flipping them over. That's supposed to be a negative. Okay, and an 8 minus an 8 gives you a 0, so x plus 0, or just x. 9 minus 8 is going to equal 1. So that is the number that x is going to represent. Now you can use the actual algebra tiles to take these and flip them and move them over to the other side, and you can cancel out the red one with the yellow one. They cancel each other out. Red one with the yellow one again, until you're just left with the one single variable x on your algebra tiles.